Hello everyone, my name is Emmanuel and today I'll be demonstrating inheritance and polymorphism. So we have three classes here. We have a parent class, this person class here, the student class, which is a subclass of the person class, and then we have a comp sci major, which is a subclass of a student. So in order for a class to be a subclass, it must extend. So the student class here extends person. Therefore, a student is a person, and a student gets to inherit all the person class's fields and methods. And so the same goes for the comp sci major class here. The comp sci major class extends student. So a comp sci major is a student, and it inherits all of these student classes, methods, and fields as well. And since a student is a person, and a comp sci major is a student, the comp sci major gets to inherit all of the student fields and methods as well as the person's fields and methods. And so that's a little bit of how inheritance works. To get into the abstract classes and how they work, so the parent class here we have, it's abstract because it has these two abstract methods. So anytime a class has an abstract method, it must be declared as an abstract class. And we have a method here that's not abstract, and so that is the difference between an abstract class and an interface class. So the interface class we have here, teachable. Interfaces have nothing but abstract methods, so we don't have to actually declare them explicitly within the method definition, but just like abstract methods, they must be utilized within the subclasses. So yeah, the difference with the interfaces, they don't, all their methods are abstract, so there's no non-abstract method definitions here. And for this abstract class, in order for us to utilize it, we had to extend the class as the parent class, and then for us to utilize interfaces, we must use the keyword implements followed by the class name, so in this case teachable. So for the student and comp sci major, we're implementing the teachable interface, and you can see here we're utilizing that interface method studies. And then also for the abstract class, we have these two abstract methods which are also being utilized, or they must be utilized in the subclasses here, display object, display super, as well as in the comp sci major class. So all of the abstract classes are being utilized in these subclasses. And also another key difference with interfaces and abstract methods, the interfaces, we can implement multiple of them. So if we wanted to utilize different behaviors or functions, we can have different interfaces and implement them by separating them with commas. So if we wanted to have another behavior interface, they would be here, and we just separate them by commas. So that is a huge plus with using interfaces. Now getting into the super keyword here, to utilize it, pretty simple. We just use the keyword followed by the method that we want to invoke from the super class or the parent class. So here in the comp sci major subclass, what we're doing is we're invoking the toString method for the parent class, which is the student class. So we're going to invoke this toString method. And to demonstrate that, we have an example here. So what we're doing is we're creating an instance of the student class, and then we're going to invoke the display super method, which is going to display the parent class. As you can see down here, it's displaying the parent class person, and so the parent class for the student class is indeed the person class. And now getting into dynamic binding and polymorphism. So my example here is we're declaring a static type variable called object, and then we're going to assign that variable a student instance or object. And to explain how it's going to work is we have this display object method, and we're passing that object through as an argument through the parameters. And then whichever object type that is, we're going to call the toString method for it. So it could be a comp sci major, a student, or a person object, and then we're going to call the toString for that. And this is what we call dynamic binding because it's going to take place for Java to figure out the correct method to invoke based off the object during the runtime. And so to go ahead and perform, we'll go ahead and run that code. And as you can see here, the object is a student right here. And then if we were going to change that assignment for that variable to a comp sci major instance, so you can see here the new object is a comp sci major. And so this is polymorphism. And so basically when, depending on the object that we have passed or the object assigned for the variable, the method will function or execute differently or have a different output based on that. And thanks for watching, and hope you have a good rest of the day.